Beloved ones, I have watched humanity for many years, not only in this life but in many moments of silence, meditation, and awareness. I have seen people as they wake up, not just physically but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I have understood something very deep. The morning is not just the beginning of a day, it is the doorway to consciousness. Most people miss it completely. They wake up, open their eyes, and immediately enter a world that is not theirs. A world of noise, expectations, and obligations. They touch their phones before touching themselves. They run, rush, and move, carrying with them the dreams and worries of yesterday. They are awake, yes, but they are not alive. I want to tell you something from my own life. I was a young man in India when I first realized the importance of mornings. I would rise early, before the city, before the chaos, before even the birds had started their songs. I would sit quietly, sometimes under a tree, sometimes alone in my room. I would watch the day beginning, not in the mind but in my being. And I realized that the first moments after waking are sacred. They are not to be wasted in thoughtless action, not to be thrown into the machine of the world. If you allow yourself to meet the morning fully, consciously, it changes everything. Your body, your mind, your very soul begins to remember itself. Many people think that mornings are only for work, for preparation, for planning. This is a misunderstanding. The morning is not for doing, it is for being. In those first moments you are like a seed, full of potential, full of possibility. If you water that seed with awareness, with silence, with love for yourself, then the whole day grows from it naturally, effortlessly. If you miss it, if you rush into the world, the day is wasted before it has even begun. You carry tension, you carry distraction, and you become a stranger to yourself. And yet, it is simple. You do not need rituals, you do not need complicated exercises. You only need to pause, you need to breathe, you need to watch. The secret is to make the morning your own, to protect it, to hold it gently as one would hold a fragile flower. Do not let the world take it from you. This is why I say these things must be done secretly. When you do them secretly, they grow in strength and beauty. When you announce them, when you perform them for others, they vanish. The morning is the first intimacy you can have with existence, and if you meet it with awareness, you meet life itself. So I invite you, beloved ones, to rise with consciousness. Do not rush. Do not jump into noise. Sit, watch, feel, taste the silence. Let the first light touch your skin. Let your body stretch awake. Let your heart remember that it is alive. These moments belong to you and you alone. And when you treat them with respect, the day and eventually your life will begin to transform in ways that words cannot describe. The first thing in the morning is silence. Before speaking, before thinking, before moving too much, simply sit in silence. Most people do not understand the power of silence. They believe that life begins with activity, with words, with interaction. But I tell you, life begins in silence. I have spent years watching people rush into their day without touching this essential moment, and I have spent years sitting myself in silence, allowing the morning to speak to me before I speak to the world. It is in this silence that you touch your true self, that you remember who you are beyond the endless chatter of the mind. When you wake up, do not immediately reach for your phone or for any distraction. Instead, sit quietly and watch your breath. Feel the gentle rise and fall, the natural rhythm that has been with you since birth. Do not try to change it. Do not try to control it. Simply observe. In this observation, a miracle occurs. Your mind, which is usually scattered with worry, expectation, and unfinished thoughts from yesterday, begins to calm. Your heart, which is usually restless, begins to slow down. In silence, you find a meeting place between the body and the soul, a space that is untouched by the world, a space that is sacred. The second thing is gratitude. But not the kind of gratitude that is said aloud or shown to others or posted on social media. That is empty. True gratitude is secret. True gratitude is felt deeply inside, like a flame burning quietly in your chest. It is a recognition that existence has given you another day, another opportunity, another chance to breathe, to move, to be aware. When you cultivate this secret gratitude, you immediately shift from lack to abundance. You begin to understand that life is not something to be struggled for, it is something to be received, something to be celebrated in its simplest form. I have practiced this myself. In my early mornings, before the world stirred, I would sit in silence and feel an overwhelming gratitude for life itself. I would not think of it as an obligation, not as a habit, not as a moral duty. I would feel it as a gift, a miracle that I was here, that I had a body, that I had a mind, that I had a chance to be conscious. This feeling would transform the whole day. Even if difficulties arose, even if the world became heavy and demanding, there was a foundation inside me that was untouched, unshakable, luminous. Beloved ones, remember this: silence and gratitude are the two keys to a morning that nurtures your being. When you start your day with them, you are not just preparing for the day, you are preparing for life. And this preparation does not need to be shared. It does not need to be justified. It only needs to be lived. Do this secretly, intimately, lovingly. Let the morning belong to you. Let it become your own sacred ritual. In this simple practice, life slowly opens, like a flower touching the first rays of the sun. The third thing in the morning is conscious breathing. Many people do not realize that breathing is not merely a physical act, the 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 merely a. It is the bridge between the body, the mind and the soul. The merely a physical act, 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 the merely a. When you breathe without awareness, you live unconsciously. You may think you are alive, but your energy is scattered, your mind is restless, and your being remains untouched. I have spent decades watching people move through life with shallow, hurried breaths, and I have observed how it affects everything: the way they think, the way they feel, the way they relate to others. And I have also learned through my own experience that just a few conscious breaths can change everything. Conscious breathing is simple yet profound. In the early morning, sit quietly and take 3 deep breaths. Do not rush. Inhale slowly, feeling your lungs fill, feeling your chest expand. Pause for a moment, as if you are honoring the air that enters your body. Then exhale completely, allowing the tension, the heaviness, the unconscious thoughts to flow out. Do this 3 times fully with attention. Do not think, do not label, do not judge. Simply feel the movement of life within you. In this act, you are reconnecting with yourself, with existence, with the infinite energy that flows through all living beings. The fourth thing is to avoid looking at the clock or the phone immediately upon waking. Time is the master of the mind, and the mind loves to be enslaved. When you look at the clock, you start calculating, planning, worrying. The morning, which could have been a sanctuary of consciousness, becomes a prison of thought. I have lived without constant reference to time, and I can tell you the world moves according to its rhythm, and when you are fully present, you are not late, you are not early, you are not early, you are perfectly aligned. The early hours belong to silence, to awareness, to the unfolding of life itself. They are not for schedules or tasks. Protect this sacred space. In my own life, I have made mornings a private retreat. Even when people came to me for guidance, I would keep the first hours for myself. I would sit, breathe, and watch the day awaken. This is not arrogance, not selfishness, it is understanding. To give fully to the world, you must first give to yourself. And the gift is silence, awareness, and conscious breathing. These simple acts are not visible, they are not dramatic, they cannot be measured. But their effect is profound. They cleanse the mind, strengthen the body, and open the heart. Beloved ones, remember that conscious breathing and avoiding time are not separate practices. They are a single approach to life. One reconnects you with your inner rhythm, the other protects you from external control. Together they create a space where life can flow effortlessly, where joy, clarity, and presence arise naturally. Do not underestimate their power. When practiced secretly, lovingly, each morning becomes a meditation, each day becomes a gift, and slowly you learn to live as if every moment is sacred, as if every breath is a miracle. The fifth thing is movement without purpose. Most people wake up and immediately begin to move with goals in mind. They stretch only to exercise, walk only to reach somewhere, act only to achieve something. This is not movement, this is mechanical action. True movement in the morning is a dance with life itself. I have watched animals wake up in the forest. They do not stretch because they must. They stretch because their body knows its own rhythm, because their body is alive. And we too have that same rhythm within us, but we have forgotten it. We have made our bodies machines, forgetting that they are temples of awareness. When you wake up, take a few minutes to move your body gently, without any intention of performance, without any thought of appearance. Stretch your arms, feel your spine awaken, bend forward and backward, let your shoulders loosen, move slowly, fully aware, feeling every muscle, every joint, every sensation. Do not force, do not strain. Movement should feel like a conversation between you and your body. In these quiet moments you remember that you are not only a mind but also a body, and both are deeply alive. Movement without purpose creates a harmony inside, a subtle energy that prepares you for the day without pushing you into it. The sixth thing is to drink water slowly with awareness, as if it is sacred medicine for your body. Most people drink water in haste, gulping it as though it is merely a routine. But water is life itself. When you drink consciously, you feel it flowing through you, nourishing every cell, cleaning every part of your body, awakening every sense. In my own life, I have found that a few conscious sips of water in the morning can awaken more than any cup of tea or coffee. It is a reminder that life itself is a gift, and that every small act can become a meditation if done with awareness. Do not think these practices are trivial. The world teaches you to overlook the small, to rush, to ignore the sacred in the ordinary. But the ordinary is extraordinary when touched by consciousness. Stretching, moving, drinking water slowly, these are simple, yet they carry immense power. They reconnect you with the body, which is too often ignored, neglected, and abused. They remind you that you are not just a thinker, a planner, a doer. You are a living, breathing being, and the morning is the first opportunity to honor this truth. Beloved ones, when these two things are done quietly, secretly, they transform not only the morning but the whole day. You carry with you a subtle energy, a calm presence, a gentle awareness that colors every thought, every action, every word. You no longer move from one task to another like a machine. You move as a conscious being. This is the beginning of a life that is not mechanical, not hurried, not stressed, but full of presence, full of love, full of awareness. The morning is your first gift, and how you meet it sets the tone for everything that follows. Move, breathe, drink, stretch, but do it in love, in awareness, in secrecy. Do not show the world, for the world cannot understand. These moments are yours alone, a treasure that prepares you for life in a way nothing else can. The seventh thing is to watch your thoughts without believing them. Most people wake up and immediately allow their minds to run wild. Thoughts come like waves and they are accepted as reality. The mind begins to tell stories of yesterday, plans for tomorrow, fears about what may happen, and desires for what it does not yet have. And we suffer because we believe these thoughts are true, because we allow them to dictate our mood, our energy, our very presence. I have spent many years observing the mind, not only in myself but in countless seekers. I have seen that the morning is the most delicate time. The mind is fresh, impressionable like wet clay. If it is left uncontrolled, it will shape your day into confusion, tension, and unconscious activity. But there is a different way. In the early morning, when the mind begins its chatter, simply watch. Do not argue with it. Do not try to stop it. Do not judge it. Imagine the thoughts as clouds passing in the sky. You are the sky, vast, open, timeless. The clouds are temporary, fleeting. They may be beautiful, they may be dark, but they are not you. When you watch in this way, a transformation occurs. You begin to realize that the mind is not your master, it is a tool, a servant, a reflection. You begin to taste freedom, freedom that is available to you the moment you stop identifying with every thought. I have practiced this myself. In the mornings before the world calls, I sit in my room in silence and I observe the play of thoughts. Some are memories, some are desires, some are worries, but I do not grab them. I do not feed them. I simply watch. And in this watching, something miraculous happens. The mind begins to calm, not because it is forced, but because it is seen. Awareness itself has a power that transforms the restless into the peaceful, the chaotic into the clear. This practice is simple, but it requires sincerity. It cannot be done for others. It must be done secretly, intimately, as a gift to yourself. The eighth thing is a small intention, not a desire. Most people wake up and immediately begin with desires. They want, they need, they hope, they fear. Desires are distractions, they carry tension. An intention, however, is different. An intention is a quiet, conscious statement of alignment with life. It is not about achieving, it is about being. In the morning, set a small intention for your day, something like, today I will remain aware, today I will remain kind, today I will move gently, today I will notice the beauty around me. Do not shout it, do not announce it, keep it secret. Let it live within you. Let it guide your energy without forcing it. Beloved ones, when the mind is watched and an intention is planted, the day begins with clarity. Thoughts no longer control you. Energy no longer disperses into chaos. You move gently, naturally, consciously. You are alive in a new way. The morning has become your teacher, your sanctuary, your source of power. And all this can happen if you simply watch, breathe, and set your intention quietly, lovingly, secretly. In this secret practice, life slowly transforms from a mechanical sequence of events into a conscious dance with existence itself. Remember, beloved ones, these things are not to be announced. They are not meant to impress others, to show that you are spiritual, disciplined, or enlightened. When you announce them, they lose their essence. They become performances, and the subtle power within them disappears. The morning rituals I am sharing with you are secret, intimate, and sacred. They are meant only for you and for your consciousness. In this secrecy they blossom. In this privacy they gain strength. When you practice silently, the mind begins to respect itself. The body begins to awaken fully and the heart opens without force, without expectation. I speak to you not as a teacher, but as someone who has walked this path, who has lived these moments. In my own life, I have spent countless mornings in silence, in gratitude, in conscious breathing, in movement, and in gentle observation of my thoughts. I have never announced these practices. They were my personal communion with existence, and I can tell you the transformation that comes from these early hours is subtle but profound. You do not become more efficient, more successful, more admired by others. You become more you. You become alive. You begin to touch the essence of life that is always present but rarely noticed. Beloved ones, life is not a series of achievements or failures. Life is the experience of being conscious, aware, and present. The morning is the first opportunity to meet life directly, before the noise, before the distraction, before the mind takes over. When you begin your day in this way, the rest of the day flows naturally. You do not react impulsively. You do not chase illusions. You do not scatter your energy. Instead, you move with ease, with clarity, with a quiet joy that cannot be forced. And this is the true secret. The transformation of the morning is the transformation of life itself. These 8 things, the silence, the gratitude, the conscious breathing, the avoidance of time, the gentle movement, the slow drinking of water, the observation of thoughts, and the planting of a small intention, are not separate practices. They are part of a single approach to life. They are the keys to waking up fully, not just from sleep, but from the unconscious living that most people accept as reality. When done secretly, they weave together into a seamless ritual that nourishes the body, calms the mind, and awakens the soul. So I invite you, beloved ones, to honor your mornings. Protect these hours as you would protect a precious jewel. Do not let the world enter too soon. Do not let the mind dominate. Sit, breathe, stretch, watch, drink, feel, and plant your intention. Do it quietly, lovingly, with reverence. In time you will notice a change. Your days will no longer be rushed or stressful. Your thoughts will be clearer. Your actions will be more conscious. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, your life itself will begin to reflect the sacredness of these early hours. The morning is a teacher, a sanctuary, a temple. Treat it with respect, with love, with secrecy. When you do, you are not only transforming your day, you are transforming yourself. And that, beloved ones, is the greatest gift that life can offer, the gift of awakening, the gift of presence, the gift of consciousness that is always available, waiting quietly for those who are willing to meet it in the silence of the morning.